Well, taking an advanced auto parts victory lap tonight. Remember, we opened the season in the premier level in NASCAR Cup Series at the LA Memorial Coliseum, and everybody got all wadded up about racing race cars on the outside perimeter of a football field. Well, how about a racetrack that's been doing that for more than 70 years? I'm going to visit with the track champion from Bowman Gray Stadium. That's right, a football stadium that has a quarter-mile racetrack, and he captured the track title last season, Tim Brown. Tim, welcome to the wind tunnel. And first and foremost, congratulations on the win, because you're always battling with those Myers cats trying to grab those checkered flags there.
Yeah, it's first of all, thank you for the kind words there, and I appreciate you letting me be on your show. Been a fan of yours for a long time. But yeah, it's just man, so blessed. We won our 11th championship last year, and we have 96 victories at that place. So I've had a great career. It's been awesome.
But it's not over yet. Don't start saying you're having a great career. But I want to go back because look, America got introduced to it a number of years ago with that History Channel, I believe, anthology called Madhouse. And I've always wanted to ask someone that was part of it, how much of that was real and how much of it was cut? Listen, Tim, what we want you to do or to say is this.
Yeah, so the things that went on at the racetrack was 100% real. Okay. Those folks that they were awesome. They did a great job. But here in the shop, they filmed me for like 3 weeks working, and then I got a call, from Hollywood, and they said, "Hey, look, this is like the most boring stuff we've ever seen in our life." Like, what do you mean boring? It's like you do the same thing every week. It's like, yeah, don't you do the same thing at work every week? You know what I mean? We have a check sheet. We nut and bolt, clean the filters, adjust the valves. Safety check the car, weigh it, set it up, front end settings. Like every week, we do the exact same thing on the exact same nights. And they were like, "Man, we have got to do something." So then they put drama in it, for TV. And I think, my personal opinion, I think they actually ruined what could have been an awesome series if it had just come in and filmed what we actually do. You know what I mean? I was privileged to be on TV and racing, and for that particular show, I won the championship and won some races, and it was great for myself and my sponsors and my souvenir sales. But it kind of made us look like, I got a lot of phone calls and threats and all that because people were like, "Man, you're mean to your guys," and that wasn't me. Like, that was, they're saying, "Oh, you got to cuss these guys or do this or do that or bitch at them or whatnot," and it ain't like that. I mean, I've got the same group of guys that's been with me for 20 some years, and we just don't do that. Like, when we're at the shop, we have a job to do. We get along doing it because everybody knows what I expect out of them, and I know what they expect out of me, and we go get it done. And that's why we're successful. And that deal kind of put a bump in the road. Like, it made some of the relationships that I had, even like with my brother and some of the people that's been with me a long time, really difficult. So much to the point that I ran them off from my shop several times. Like, I'm not doing it. And the stuff that they asked me to do that I wouldn't do is just crazy. And I don't want no part of anything ever like that again.
Well, that's in the past. I mean, I'm sure if a fan wants to watch it, it lives somewhere in that vast thing they call the internet. But now let's focus a little bit on what it takes to get around a flat, and I mean tabletop flat, quarter miler with open wheel modifieds.
Well, first of all, you got to have the right equipment. You got to have the right people surrounding you to be good at it, right? So I honestly think, and I've always said this throughout my whole career, that driving the race car is the easy part. Having a race car under you that'll win is the hard part, and races are won at the shop, not at the racetrack. So I was brought up in my grandpa's race shop, and he taught me that from the time I was 3 years old, that the hard work and dedication that you put into racing here all winter at the shop is what pays off during race season, and that's who you'll wind up always seeing victorious, whether it's winning races or championships or what. So he taught me a really strong work ethic that I've carried through my whole career, and that to me is why I feel like I've been so successful. And he always taught me, Bruce Hayes and Todd Hunt have always taught me over the years that you have to surround yourself with the right people, right? That's on and off the racetrack. You know what I mean? So, and that's something that I feel like I have been blessed with. And right now I'm in a better place in my life than I've ever been as far as having that put together with the best race team, my wife and kids. Everything that I've got going on right now is super special, and I'm very blessed.
Isn't it amazing when everything in one's life is headed in the right direction? All of a sudden, all the pieces fall into place. I can hear it in the smile in your voice.
Yeah. So, you know, I don't know how to say this properly, right? But for the longest time, you know, I grew up at the stadium watching my grandpa cars race and Gary Myers and Junior Miller and Alfred Hill and all the greats that I watched when I was a kid. And I just sat in the grandstands and I wanted to race. I just wanted to do it. I never dreamed about winning. Didn't even have the money to do it and knew I didn't have the money to do it, right? And I sat up there and I will never forget this. I sat in the same spot from the time I was, I don't know, 10 years old till I was 18 years old. And I was sitting there one night, and the couple that I always sat with and cheered on Alfred or whoever I was pulling for, I told them when I was like, I'm going to drive a modified one day. And they're like, you're crazy. You're never going to do that. You're crazy. Those people still sit in the same spot. And I'll go up there every now and then and talk to them. And we just can't believe that this little kid that we sit beside of them is now, you know, the all-time winner, the most championships and all from the stadium. And man, and I think about that. And when I first started racing, I was really having fun because I was just being out there doing what I dreamed I wanted to do my whole life, right? But then once you get that taste of success, I got obsessed with it. You know what I mean? And I didn't realize that I was obsessed with it because I was so obsessed with it. That's all I thought about. Racing the car, winning, getting faster, better parts, better equipment, more money. And that's what I focused my life on up till 9-10 years ago when I met my wife. You know what I mean? And then I found happiness outside of the race car that I've never experienced before. And then my kid Cam came along, and it escalated my happiness. And now I've got Marley, and I'm still winning races, and I'm still winning championships, and I'm surrounded by so many people that I love and so many sponsors that I love and have been with me. Man, I'm telling you, like, Tim Brown is in a really good spot in his life. And I think the guys that race against me is in trouble.
Yeah, I was going to say they better watch out in 2022. Well, with Bowman Gray being, and I should establish, it's your side hustle because you are totally immersed in motorsports. You're, and I would say 9 to 5, but if you're in the racing community, there's no such thing as 9 to 5. You also work down there at RFK Racing. So what's life like inside the RFK shop since it's all been gussied up, painted up, and there's a new co-owner in town strolling through that? Oh yeah, that's right. Happens to drive a race car too. Has it changed for you at all?
It has. You know, I manage the assembly shop for RFK, and I've been at RFK for a while as a suspension manager, and I got promoted this year to over the whole assembly. And Brad coming in has brought like a new culture. And when I say that, you know, he's a younger guy than Jack. He's more in tune with what goes on because he's actually driving the car. And he has a 15-year plan for all of us, which is awesome. And we're in a rebuilding phase. We're not very good right now, and we know that, and we accept that. And we know that we're not going to be great in 3 months or even 6 months, but we know that we have Jack and Fenway and Keselowski behind us to buy us all the parts and pieces we need. They've came in and remodeled the facility. It looks beautiful. We got all new apparel. All the guys look good. You know, we have put in 80-hour weeks and 7 days a week, you know, for a while now. And it's going to pay off. It may not pay off this year. It may not pay off this week, but it's going to pay off. And we're going to have one hell of a race team when we get it turned around.
Jim, if you had an opportunity yet, maybe to sit down and just share some ideas, and has he talked to you a little bit about what you do on Saturday nights in front of 15,000 screaming madhouse folks there at Bowman Gray Stadium?
Absolutely. Brad and I talk, at least once a week. I see him all the time, but, he's busy and I'm busy. And, but yeah, we talk. Brad's a racer, and Brad's a lot like myself, as he wants everything perfect.
Well, he's also a lot like yourself because he comes from a racing family.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've worked in Cup for a very long time, and I also learned, from my grandpa to have that strong work ethic and want everything to be absolutely perfect. And that's what you have to do in the Cup Series. And I've always implemented that into my race team and my race cars. And I honestly feel like we have the most pristine race cars at the racetrack every week that we show up. And that's what we do at work also. You know what I mean? So that's, and once you get that instilled in you, every car that I build, whether it's at work or here at my shop, I want to be better than the last one we built. You know what I mean? And think about that. How many do we build a week at RFK every week? You know what I mean? So the last car that we build every year should be better than the first one we built by 60. You know what I mean? And that's how I try to do it at my shop. And, it's given me an advantage because I'm surrounded by engineers. I'm surrounded by computers. I'm surrounded by data acquisition that shows you grip, and grip's grip. A lot of people's like, oh, what they do at work doesn't apply to what he does. Well, that's wrong. Grip is grip. Maybe the setup, but how you get there, grip is still grip. And I think that's been an advantage for me for years and years and years to be surrounded by so many smart people.
Well, listen, this has been personally a real treat for me. You're one of the superstars of my favorite form of racing, open wheel modifieds. I've been to Bowman Gray when I worked for Junior Johnson, so many years ago. Wish you continued success. And hey, what the hell? Go get another championship, okay?
That's my plan, man. And I appreciate you for having me on the show. And, I want to send a shout out to Advanced Auto Parts for all they do for us. I've been getting super nice trophies and things in the mail here this week, actually, for winning the championship at the stadium. And I was fortunate enough to win the North Carolina State Championship also. And they've told me I've got a fire suit coming and a helmet. So all that stuff is awesome. And, we'd like to thank Advanced Auto Parts for supporting us in NASCAR, and all the folks at the racetrack, and all of my sponsors for all they do for me. And, my wife and kids for supporting me and loving me and being there for me.
Thanks so much tonight. It's been fun. And hey, listen, go get them, okay?
Thank you, buddy. You take care, man.
All right.